Hey everyone, it's PK here. Hope you're doing really well. Today I'm going to be talking about the entire investment process and how to do it by yourself. Why you don't need to spend $10,000 or $15,000 on an expensive agent, property marketeer, advisor, consultant. They come in different guises. But why you don't need to do that, even if you're lacking confidence, even if you don't have the knowledge, how to actually invest in property yourself, A to Z. Okay, so if this is you, if you're lacking confidence, if you're looking for someone to hold your hand, this is exactly the type of video that will be super useful for you. And so if it is super useful and you're watching this on Facebook, then give a like or love and then you'll see more of these videos. That's how Facebook algorithm works. And if you're watching on YouTube, just go ahead and subscribe and then you'll see more of them. All right, so you're in your late 20s or in your 30s or in your 40s. You have a wife or a husband, you're in a relationship, you might have a couple of kids. You're thinking out 10, 15, 20 years out to your retirement. You may already have an investment property or may have zero investment properties, and you're really looking to take charge now and figure out how to get ahead, how to develop some sort of secondary passive income source through property investment, but you have no idea what you're doing. Okay, it's you're not alone. I speak to hundreds and hundreds of people every single month that are exactly like this. And the first thing that I think they default to doing, you might be defaulting into doing, is to say, look, it's just all too hard, it's confusing, it's overwhelming, I don't want to make a mistake. Let's just outsource it to the professionals, in quotation marks. However, those professionals, if they are actually quite good, they come with a hefty price tag. A good professional will come with a price tag of $10,000 to $15,000, and you don't really want to pay that. At least most people don't want to part with that. So I'm going to talk about today how you can actually cover off both the art and science of property investing yourself. Why you don't need to spend all this money for a super expensive professional. Okay, of course, it does take a little bit of learning. It does take a little bit of time, maybe 2-3 hours a week for a month or two. But if you have that, then you really don't need to go to a professional or an advisor, agent, something like that. You can do this yourself. You truly can. And I have literally hundreds of case studies proving that you can. But let me just explain to you right now how you would do that. Okay, so to start property investing, you need to develop a strategy. Now, I've talked about this many times before in these videos, but an essential part of your strategy is borrowing capacity. So don't go to the bank directly, go to a mortgage broker. They're completely free, a good mortgage broker. And if you don't have one, just comment below and I'll give you mine completely free of cost. And they will tell you where, they'll tell you what you can afford to buy, right? And so that's a key part of your strategy. And then you need to figure out what yield you want and things like that. And then it's all about, once you know what you can afford and what yield you want, then it's all about going into suburb selection. And suburb selection is all about data. There are some people that say that you must have lived in the suburb for a while to really understand it. There are some people who say that you need a really professional buyer's agent that knows the ins and outs, every crack on the footpath in a particular suburb in order to really understand what to buy and things like that. But you really don't. All you need to know is the data, and I've harped on about this a lot, so I'm not going to talk about that too much in this video. Suffice to say though, in about 3 to 5 hours worth of work, you can take the 15,000 suburbs across Australia, hone them down using data filtering, and come up with your best or 2 best suburbs that you should be buying in. Now, once you've selected the suburbs, then it's about where in that suburb should you be buying, which streets and which types of houses. And that is easily achieved through more data and through more qualitative data. So not just quantitative, but qualitative. So what I mean by qualitative is zoning. Where are the flood zones? Where are the bushfire zones? Where are the flight paths? Where are the main roads? All this sort of thing that you can actually find mostly on Google and also on local council websites. So you can hone into the various pockets of the suburb that are worthwhile buying in Once again, never having traveled to the suburb itself and not having to outsource it to a professional. And then it's about finding the right types of properties. Now, there's a set criteria that you need to follow in terms of what type of criteria you should buy. For example, it should be north facing, should be away from power lines, shouldn't be on a main road, it should have the typical bedroom configuration that the typical type of demographic has or wants in that area. And all these sorts of things can be helped or can be aided by a property manager in the area, right? A property manager in the area, property manager, for those of you who don't know, is not a real estate agent, right? There's someone who will manage your property once you have actually bought it, collecting rent, managing maintenance, all that sort of thing. But here's the thing that most people don't know. You can actually get your property manager, let's say I'm in Brisbane, I want to buy in Sydney, I can get a local property manager free of cost to do my inspections for me. So that part of the process is taken care of you, and then it's about negotiating. Now, negotiating can be learned, right? Like I said at the start, if you have 2 or 3 hours spare in the week for about a month or two, you can learn all this negotiation. You don't need to do it face to face or over the phone call. You can do it over email on the contract itself. It's pretty straightforward. It's not rocket science. There are tips and tips and techniques that you should understand, but all very easily understandable and learned. And that way you can do it yourself, right? And so you negotiate with the agent, and then your conveyancer will hold your hand through the rest of that contract process. So you don't have to worry about things. Your property manager, in the meantime, is once the house is unconditional, the property manager is finding a tenant, right? And once you've settled, which your property manager also will handle for you, the exchange of keys, the pre-settlement inspection, then it's about getting a depreciation schedule, which, once again, if you don't have a quantity surveyor, let me know. I'll give you mine free of cost. Quantity surveyor does a depreciation schedule, which helps you get your tax deductions right up, right? You want to save on tax. What else is left? And then at the end of the year, to actually claim deductions and claim everything, you need your accountant. So once again, if you don't have an accountant, let me know. I'll share mine with you free of cost. And so really what I'm trying to articulate is people get stuck in property investing of how to start, where to buy, what to buy. How to start can be helped and can be understood just through some coaching, some mentoring. You don't need to spend $10,000 or $15,000 on that, okay? Effectively, how to start means what price point, which is answered by the broker, what yield, which is helped by some strategy, not $10,000 worth of strategy, but a bit of strategy guidance, whether I should be active or passive, right? Should I do developments and things like that, or should I just buy, set and forget? And the fourth question, and how do I start, is am I open to regional centers or capital cities only, right? What's my risk appetite? Am I open to buying in non-capital cities or not? And once again, you can decide that for yourself looking at data. Regional doesn't underperform capital cities, but it can be a bit more volatile. So once you've answered those 4 questions, what people get stuck at is, well, where should I buy? And I'm telling you over and over again that there's a number of factors you need to consider. All of this can be done in front of your computer, in front of your laptop, at home. I have literally hundreds of case studies of clients that have made huge positive cash flow, huge capital growth, that did it in front of their screen at home, picked and selected the suburb at home. And then what people, encounter, the hurdle that they need to cross as well within that suburb, where should I buy? Like I said, that can be overcome using council websites and also some on-the-ground knowledge that a property manager can help you with. They know the qualitative lay of the land. They're actually there, and you don't need to see them in person. Everything can be done over the phone call, and they're free of cost, which is amazing, right, for this sort of knowledge. And then it's about buying, which a conveyancer helps with, and the property manager holds your hand through the process of finding and keeping a tenant. And it's all doable very easily by yourself. It seems very overwhelming, where should I buy? What should I buy? Am I making a mistake? Is this going to be a dud property? Is this the worst decision of my life? Should I even do this in the first place? You do need some help to understand the process, right? So most people in my experience, whether they're already property investors or they're brand new, they need some help to understand everything a little bit more detailed. But what you don't need is $15,000 or $10,000 worth of help, okay? And if you understand how to do it once, then you can just repeat it with the same team of broker, conveyancer, property manager, an accountant. You can just rinse and repeat this process and accumulate properties over the course of time yourself. You don't need to pay $10,000, $20,000 every single property. In fact, it's quite interesting. Most of my clients, if I'm being honest, they already have one or two properties, and then they've gone to a buyer's agent or an advocate or a property marketeer or something like that, and then they come to me after they already have one or two properties saying, look, now PK, I want to learn it. And I just ask, well, why didn't you want to learn it yourself at the start? Save that money and get better results and become self-sustaining. And they said, look, I thought it was too much. I just thought I couldn't handle it. I thought I wouldn't know what to do, and therefore I just wanted to outsource it. But now I realize that, yes, it's not a walk in the park, but it's not rocket science either. And I would have rather, having done this journey again, I would have rather done education at the start, would rather have someone hold my hand through the start, through learning, through education, and then I could have been self-sufficient, right? So if you don't have any properties yet and are finding all of this really overwhelming, I just want to tell you that, yes, there's options to spend $10,000 or $15,000 on agents, and look, all credit to them. But most property investors, unless you're a busy CEO, have zero time or zero passion about property. Most people, 90+% people, can do it themselves with a bit of hand holding, and there are hundreds of people, there are thousands of investors that have done it this way. So don't be overwhelmed. You can learn this. It's not hard. A data scientist can do it, a surgeon can do it, an electrician can do it, a teacher can do it, a nurse can do it, a housewife can do it, a house husband can do it. Everyone can do it themselves. It just requires a bit of learning, like anything. All right, so I just want to hit home the message that you can do this. And if you do want some hand holding, I don't charge $10,000 or $15,000 per property. I don't even charge per property. I just make sure that you can do this yourself with my assistance, with my hand holding, looking at data, looking at objectivity, most importantly, giving you the confidence that you can say, yes, I've made a good decision. This property will grow in capital growth. This property will give me positive cash flow, and this is going to set me up in the future to achieve a six-figure passive income. All right, so hopefully this video was useful. Hopefully it overcame or helped you overcome some doubts. It's probably not fully successful. You're probably still wondering, can I do it? But I'm just going to continue doing more of these videos. All right. So my name's PK. I'll leave a link below if you want to learn more. Otherwise, there's plenty of other people that you can learn from as well. But if you vibe with me, then go ahead and hit subscribe so you see more of these videos. Or if you're on Facebook, just comment below if you have questions or anything like that, or if you want parts of my team, mortgage broker, etc. And if you like this video, please give it a like, and so I get some love and some energy back. All right, guys, best of luck with your property investing. Catch you later. Bye.